Hey, it's Chase from On the Table Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at a list for the Night's Watch in the A Song of Ice and Fire miniatures game. So we're going to be building a Night's Watch list here for 40 points. It's night time. And we're going in to look at some of the units, and you can see some of the quality of these images aren't consistent. Well, that's because the guys who use a Song of Ice and Fire builder, they rely on the community to send them images so they can update this. So you can see this one has a token on it. So if you've got images that are better than this, help them out by sending them a link, and you can find information on their website about where to mail that stuff. So let's take a look. We're scrolling down looking at all these units. We're going to look at the Veterans of the Watch for 8 points. Now, this is an infantry unit that has, on a 3+, it hits with 8 dice. So they can pack a punch, and they've got 3+ armor, 5+ morale. These guys are good. And more so than everything, I think the order counterattack. When this unit is attacked with melee, after attack dice are rolled, for each blocked hit, the attacker suffers 1 automatic hit. These guys are beastly. They're going to be taking hits and dishing it back out. Now, make sure you note it is 1 automatic hit, not a wound, so the enemy still gets to save. But, you know, if you got a unit of berserkers that's hitting you with a ton of attacks, you can be feeling pretty good that you're going to bounce some of those back and do some significant damage to them. So we're going to add this as our anvil. They're going to be the main sort of rock upon which our army rests. And we're going to throw in an attachment of Jon Snow, the 998th Lord Commander, because we want his order indomitable. So when this unit passes a morale test, this unit may restore up to D3 wounds. So he's going to make them rather hardy. And you're going to notice in the Night's Watch army, there are some multiple ways that they can heal their units and get wounds back. So you're going to have really specialist, strong units, and you're going to be able to keep them up with tactics cards, with abilities like this. And so it's really important to have enough healing to make sure your units aren't getting finished off. Now, even better than D3 wounds, you got this bond with Ghost, which gives you another activation, but even cooler than having just a regular wolf activation. When this unit activates, Ghost may activate before or after this unit takes its action. So you're basically going to do a double activation when you activate Jon Snow. So we're throwing him in that Veterans of the Watch set right there. And we got some tactics cards down here. When a friendly combat unit passes a morale test, one other friendly unit within long range may restore up to D3 + 1 wounds. If either unit contains Jon Snow, you automatically count as rolling a 3. So this is a great way to get additional dice wounds going, or right off the bat, just getting 3 if you've got Jon Snow, which of course obviously we have because it's a Jon Snow tactic card. Now, it shall not end until my death. This is awesome. I'm getting like a kind of almost like a weird undead vampire feel with this game. It's going to be so hard to kill off units. They're going to think they're dead, but they're not. They're sticking around. When a friendly combat unit would be destroyed, that unit may make a morale test. On a success, they are not destroyed, but remain in play with 1 remaining wound. If it's within short range of Jon Snow's unit, also remove any activation tokens on them. So you can have your unit almost get killed. They get killed, and you're like, nope. They're back with 1 wound, and now they're going to use their activation to disengage or get some sort of healing. And then for the watch, when a friendly combat unit activates, choose one of the following. If this unit contains Jon Snow, you may choose 2 instead. The same effect may not be chosen twice. The unit gains +2 movement this turn. The unit's melee attacks gain +1 to hit this turn, or that unit may restore up to 2 wounds and remove a condition token. So we've got 2 healing abilities and 1 that lets your unit not be killed. These guys are going to be resilient. So let's take that Veterans of the Watch and let's add another core group of troops here of Sworn Brothers. Now this 6-point unit hits on a 3+ with 7 dice, 4+ armor, 6+ morale, and they've got great swords. Critical blows, rolls of 6, cause 2 hits, and they have Sundering. Defenders suffer -1 to their defense save roll. So this is a pretty strong unit here. They can push out some serious wounds, and you're going to use this with the Veterans of the Watch to make a really strong core set that can be healed up and really dish out the hurt. And we're going to actually take 2 of these units then. Oops, I'm looking at attachments. We're going to take 2 of these units here With the Sworn Brothers, that's 2. And that's our melee component of our army. Now we're going to add in some support, some harassers, things that are going to help us get objectives or support these units. And we're looking at Ranger Trackers. Now they got movement of 6. They hit on a 3+ on 7 dice or on a 4+ with 6 dice in melee. They've only got 5 armor, so these are not your Knights of Casterly Rock. These guys are harassers. These are support units, and they really support through this order of marked target. At the start of a friendly turn, one enemy within line of sight and long range becomes vulnerable. So you're going to be using this unit to help put out vulnerable tokens so that your melee ground troops can actually push out even more damage. Now, the big thing about these guys, you're probably thinking, like, how are these guys balanced at all? Well, they've got a recurve bow. It's only short range, so they've got to get quite close, meaning they're going to be open to counterattack with only their 5+ armor. But they also can be maneuvering around, shooting into the flanks of units, and if the unit's already engaged, they're not going to be able to break off and pursue these guys. So these are great flankers, harassers, and that order is going to really help your army. So we're actually taking 2 of those units. And that's going to fill out our main ground troops. So you've got 2 Ranger Trackers, 2 Sworn Brothers, Ghost, and the Veterans of the Watch with Jon Snow. For non-combat units, we're looking at Bowen Marsh, the first steward with his counts and measures ability. When Bowen claims a zone on the tactics board, you may look at the top 2 cards of your tactics deck. Place one of those cards in your hand and the other on the bottom of your tactics deck. So this is going to make sure that you're getting the cards you need when you need them. That's something I think is often overlooked in this game, is that it's not just a tabletop war game. It's not just about the tactics board. It's about the commander cards and the tactics cards that you have. And having the right tool for the job is what's going to win you games. And this guy, for only 3 points, is going to help you get what you need when you need it. And you're still getting the effects of the tactics board. So this is really powerful. So we're going to add him in for 3 points. And then we're going to round things off with Maester Aemon of Castle Black. When he claims a zone on the tactics board, you may restore up to 1 wound to a friendly unit, plus 1 additional wound per destroyed rank in that unit. So if you take the wealth location, you're doing 3 plus 1 plus 1 additional wound per destroyed rank of that unit. So you could be doing easily 4, 5 wounds of healing, keeping your units alive. So this is a real pain for your opponent to deal with, especially when you're healing up things like your Veterans of the Watch, which every time they're getting hit, the enemy's taking an automatic hit back. They're getting healed by Jon Snow. They're getting healed by Maester Aemon. It's going to take a lot of firepower, a lot of concentrated arms to take these guys down. And that's your core army here at 39 points. You could go into the Sworn Brothers and add in some attachments. There are the Dreadfort captains that are there. But right now, feel free to go throw that in there. But if you're going purely Night's Watch, this is the list you'd be working with as a good intro to this army. It's going to be definitely wearing down your opponent, using vulnerable tokens, and just winning through strength of arms and healing. So if you guys have ordered the Night's Watch, make sure you try this out and let me know how it goes. And I hope you get your miniatures on the table.